Do you know this author, Brian Christian? Is that someone you've ever heard of?
That sounds familiar.
He's a guy who competed in the, what is it called? The Loebner competition?
The Loebner Prize, yeah.
Yeah, the Turing test thing. So, and I'll just tell you the story, but I think it's directly related to the last thing you said about where we're starting in the same place. He competed in this competition, but he didn't enter a program that was supposed to try to pass the Turing test. The Turing test, there's three people. There's the judge, there's the program, and then there's someone who's a human, the way they do it. And the judge has got to figure out, by asking questions, which is the computer and which is the human. So, little known fact, there's two prizes in that competition. There's the most human computer prize. That's the computer that wins the most. And then there's the most human prize. And he competed for the most human prize. And he won it. He kept winning it. And so he tried to think about what it is that you have to be able to do in order to convince judges that you're human instead of a computer. And that's an interesting question, I think. And what he came to, my takeaway from his version of this story is that it is true that computers are winning these contests more and more, as technology progresses. But there's two possible explanations for that. One is that the computers are becoming more human, and the other is that the humans are becoming more like computers. And he says, actually, the more we live our lives in this world in this sort of technological world, where we have to moderate our behavior so that it's readable by something that's effectively, a computer, the more we become like that. And he says it happens even when you're not interacting with a computer. He says, have you ever been to on the phone with the call, center? And they're going through their script. And that's what they've got to do. They've got to go through their script because that's how they keep their job. And they ask you this question, and you've got to answer it. And it's as if you're no longer interacting with a person, even though it's a person. Because they've so given up everything that's involved normally with being able to make judgments and decisions and act in situations and take responsibility. And so I think that's the other side of it. It is true that technology is amazing and can solve huge ranges of problems and do fantastic things. But it's also true that we're changing ourselves in response to it. And the one thing I'm worried about is that we're changing ourselves in such a way that the norms for what we're aiming at are being changed to move in the direction of this sort of efficiently in an optimized way solving a problem and move away from this other kind of thing that we were calling aliveness or significance.